Hello you guys, and welcome to the Forgotten Lands. Today I'm going to be touring you around this completely decorated biome which I have done up for Jack and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. There's a spooky castle build for them as well as a Halloween town village, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here we are at the start of the Forgotten Lands, and this is the entrance just coming up from the Elephant Graveyard in the Sunlit Plateau, and this is more of like the Halloween town area. So I used the sinister brick path all through this area and a bunch of the castle walls off to the side here. To the right here, I did add in a little cooking stove, just really keeping it handy as I'm running around the valley. I like to try to put a cooking stove and a crafting station in every single one of my biomes if I can fit it into the build. This area definitely has a trick-or-treat kind of feel. I really wanted to play off Jack and Sally and make them a really nice Halloween town area. So before we get into that, I actually want to kind of flip you guys around this way, and here is where I have placed these three purple cottages, which I've been calling my witches' cottages. So I have the Halloween townhouse, the witchy cottage, and the purple cottage all tucked away in this corner, and I've decorated all around the pond here with lots of foliage, as well as I have moved all of the flowers in this biome to be surrounding this little pond here. I think that all of these houses really suit this kind of spooky vibe I was trying to build up here in the Forgotten Lands, and they were a perfect addition to this village area, along with the little clock tower in the back. I've also actually already decorated the inside of this particular house to be modeled after the Sanderson sisters' home in the Hocus Pocus movie, so definitely check that out. It is an older video on my channel, but it might help you out with some interior design inspo. So that is the witch's little pond area. And then moving over here, I have the friendship pillar, which we can see Anna is currently being hypnotized by. And then next to that, I have the skeletal mobile from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Just ended up being a great little spot to pop it in and fill up some space there. Next to that, I have the Halloween Town cottage. I believe that's what it's called. Maybe the Halloween cottage. If you guys know the particular names of these houses, feel free to drop them in the comments so it will help some other people out. But in the center of this little courtyard in front of the house here, I wanted to make a pumpkin carving station. So I did my best. I placed this little autumnal table in the middle and some jack-o'-lanterns and some pumpkins waiting to be carved. And then I also mixed in a bunch of these atrium candles you can see on the ground. Those are kind of scattered all throughout the biome, as well as the jack-o'-lanterns and the glowing mushroom lights. I did also bring the path up to both doors on this house because it actually has two that are kind of catty-cornered, so it was a little bit of a strange house to decorate around, but I found that bringing the path up to both doors and then making this kind of yard area in between was kind of the perfect little spot for it. Moving back into the rest of the town, at the end of the street, I wanted to place this bind house, which I had placed actually in the bind for a while, but I feel like it really feels at home over here in the Forgotten Lands. It really looks creepy and autumnal. Looks like a creepy library to me. So I added some trick-or-treat touches. We have the little trick-or-treat bucket up there on the end of the fence, as well as some pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. Next to that, we have the entrance to the start of the castle for Jack and Sally, which was the main focus for the build in this area. In front of it, I placed this fountain, which is such a cool item. On the left side, you can see this wagon that has all of the leaves blowing out of it. This was in the premium shop around Thanksgiving last year, and it's a really cool item, especially for dream snaps. So let's go ahead and get started with the inside of the castle. Towards the end of the video, I'll go ahead and show like a bird's eye view of how everything looks so you can get a better idea of the layout. I also have done two videos which were slow builds where I took you through the whole process of decorating this biome from from start to finish. So if you want a closer detailed look on everything, check that out. Don't mind Vanellope off to the side here, just blabbing, totally glitched. This is kind of the entrance to the castle, and of course I wanted to have lots of touches for Christmas and Halloween since we celebrate both in this castle with Jack and Sally. So right when you walk in, we have this giant Christmas tree surrounded with all of the little gift piles, as well as some jack-o'-lanterns on the ground here. Next to that, I also placed in this little baby Christmas tree, as well as this really cool like grandfather clock. I think it's the Nightmare Before Christmas town clock. And then continuing on back here, I have a little bit of a sitting area. This was from the first Halloween Star Path. And then we'll kind of just loop around the Christmas tree. And this is a main dining hall for Jack and Sally. A little bit of a romantic spot for the two of them, although they have very strange food on the table, as you can see. I kind of made some Christmassy desserts as well as some spooky desserts and placed them all over the table. And then next to that, I placed another Christmas tree in the corner because it just felt like we couldn't have enough Christmas trees in this build. Over here, you can see Figaro staying warm by the fire. What a cutie. So I used the castle walls as well as these thorny pillars to make this fireplace, and then I put the pixelized cooking flame on this little window, and then for the actual fire I used the pixelized cooking flame and just added that right on this little window here. In front of that, again, I added in a bunch of the presents and jack-o'-lanterns. Definitely a theme throughout this entire build. So that is the kind of like dining space, and then across from that we have a little potions area. Oh my gosh, Gaston, don't tell me you are making a love potion for Belle. My guy, it's just not gonna work. She's just not into you. So I built this area with Sally in mind, so she has all of her little potions off to the side so she can make her little brews in the cauldron here. In the back, I placed a little spell book on this pedestal here. And then again, these little rugs are from Storybook Vale. You can craft them, and they're just kind of creepy. They give me Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, so I added in a few of those in this area too. Now, that is not the only build I made for Sally. So if we come around the corner here behind the fireplace, this is Sally's little craft and sewing area. I wanted to make it really cute for her, so I added in some beanbag chairs as well as this little rabbit rocking chair, which is so cute, from the Cheshire Cat event. We also have some sewing and crafting supplies. A lot of them were from the Cinderella furniture collection, which kind of worked perfectly because it's all pumpkin themed too. In the back, I added a little standing mirror. On the ground, we have Sally's little carpet from her quest, and then I framed the whole area with these little Christmas lights from the Bugs Life set, which was in the premium shop. I just had to find a place for the Christmas lights in this house, and I felt like the crafting room was the perfect place for it because it has the popsicle sticks, and popsicle sticks are frequently used in crafts, so it kind of looks like Sally maybe made them herself. One of my favorite spots in the biome for sure, and I love to see the villagers hanging out here like they're kind of like maybe waiting for Sally to tailor something for them, so I thought that was really cute. In the back here, we have again another pond, which I just filled up with some foliage, added in some little lily pads from Alice in Wonderland, and back here is all dedicated to Jack. So this is Jack's kind of study, and I have it set up that he is kind of investigating Christmas as he likes to do. He's studying it, so he has his experiments going on. He has a Santa's sleigh and the globe because he's trying to figure out just how Santa goes around the world and delivers all those gifts in one night. We have again another Christmas tree, little snow buddy on the ground. Here is where I added in my crafting station as well as Jack's blackboard. And then this corner is where I placed my multiplayer portal, and I thought that this would be a perfect location because there's a lot of weird stuff already going on in the Forgotten Lands. Jack is familiar with portals. He went through a portal to get to Christmas Town, So I feel like maybe he is studying the multiplayer portal. At least that's what I am saying, so that it kind of fits into the lore of why it's placed here. Ultimately, I kind of just needed a place to put the portal, so here is where it is. Continuing on with the rest of the castle, we kind of have a little bit of a library situation over here. So I used a bunch of these skeleton library shelves. I also placed this little jack-in-the-box item on the pedestal here, just in the middle of the library. I thought that was fun and needed a place to put it. And then we can come around the corner here and we have a little snow globe as well as a hidden Mickey jack-o'-lantern. That is Jack's kind of study area. And then the library continues on over here next to Mother Gothel. And this is where I made a little bit of a lounge for Jack and Sally. I put out this monstrous sushi plate as well as some really nice orange chairs and just kind of made like a cozy little library in the castle for them. So that is the interior of the full castle. I had so much fun making this build. Definitely recommend you guys try it out if you have any of the castle walls, because it is so fun to make all these different themed rooms, and it's kind of like playing with a little dollhouse. You can kind of create whatever you want. It's just so much fun. So let's pop on out of the castle and I will show you how the entrance to the castle looks from this side, because this side I have attached Jack and Sally's house. Well, I kind of just wanted to make it look that way. So off to the side of the entrance here, I placed their house and I nestled it up against the castle walls to kind of make it look like it was connected and an extension of their home. In front of their house, I of course had to put the little companion house for Zero, and I have the little Zero fox companion wandering around here, haunting the Forgotten Lands and protecting the castle here. Again, we have another one of these spooky little fountains, and then all of the jack-o'-lanterns, as well as the skeleton hills over here too. Right here we also have the treehouse, which you can't move. Over here is where I placed things like my well as well as Goofy's stall, and then this is my little pumpkin farm over here too. So I used Jack's tree right in the center here, and behind it I placed two ancient gardeners that you can actually put right up next to each other. I didn't know you could do that, but they kind of also hid perfectly behind Jack's tree, so I really like that with the pumpkin and all the pumpkins growing behind it. I think it's really cute. Here is where I have a bunch of pumpkins planted, the little scarecrow, and my well, which I customized to the Alice in Wonderland well skin. Next to this, I have some more practical things for the biome. So we have Goofy's stall, as well as my ancient vacuum and a few storage chests. So in this top chest on the crate is where I dump all things that I collect in the Forgotten Lands. So I'll actually empty out the things I have picked up while filming this tour. Just below that, I have my home chest, which is pretty standard. And then to the right of Goofy's stall is where I keep all of my pumpkin seeds in this large chest on the ground here. To give you guys an idea of how this is all laid out, I wanted to show you how it looks in the furniture tab. So here is where I have Goofy's stall and the pumpkin patch kind of at this entrance from the Sunlit Plateau. And then we move into Jack and Sally's castle right behind the treehouse. And the castle takes up, I don't know, like half of the biome, but it was so much fun. You guys have to try it out. And then just past that, on the other side of the biome, we have more of the village area with the 3 cottages in the corner here. And then the Halloween Town cottage, as well as the Bind house over here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing my Forgotten Lands. Thank you so much for following me around for this tour, and I will see you in the next one.